Hey there. It is Friday, August 5th. 5 days into August. And it's already, well, things are cooling down a little bit. We've had some terrible, well, sorry, can't complain. Never mind. Folks in the rest of the country are having a lot worse time than we are. It's just been a little more humid than is comfortable around here. But I have been thinking a lot about Jorma Kaukonen because well, where am I going to start? Got a list of things I want to talk about today. I want to get to a tip on percussive playing. I kind of started that a little bit last week and then but last week's plan was really the arpeggio stuff. I hope some of you are working on that. Oh my gosh, can I do this without a capo? No. I used to be able to make those stretches. I'm getting old. Fingers are not as limber as they used to be. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to get to some percussive ideas and talk about two really specific songs that would be good to work on. Don't give it away, Neil. Let's see, what has been going on? The reason Jorma's on my mind is I've been doing a lot of kind of housekeeping. A lot of people in my family are moving now, so we're doing a lot of downsizing and cleaning things up. And it got me, I've been sort of doing the same thing here at TG. And that is looking through like old stuff and realize some people are saying, hey, how come you don't have a pack of these, a pack of those? And I thought, I think we do. We didn't. And so I started looking at things, and as you know, so it's a lot of packs got adjusted this week, and some new ones came out. Mostly, I found some extra Open G tunes that I think 3 of them that I threw into the Open G pack. So it's now 8 songs I think in there for the price of a 5-pack. And what else? The Eva Cassidy San Francisco Bay Blues got put into Eva's pack, so that also makes it a bigger one. And the one that kind of got this ball rolling that I'm talking about now was I stumbled into that we have a lesson on Gary Davis's version of Hesitation Blues, which got me, of course, thinking that, people have asked me about Jorma's version for years, and I've never gotten to it. So I thought, okay, I got to put that get that back on a burner at least, and get it out of the pantry where it's been sitting for a while. And it made me think about other Jorma tunes that would be good to add, and maybe at the end I'll mess around with another one. But one is of course this. Let me think. Got it. Okay. Maybe. Such a weird beginning. Then just a fast finger picking. It's B. This is just a B and a C power chord with just some random picking going back and forth. And then we got E minor, G in the bass, F with C first in the bass, then the F, and then B7. So these are the chord progression to Mann's Fate, of course. E minor, then with G in the bass, then an F and a C, and then this really easy lick, right? Just kidding. So I think I will get to a lesson on that somewhere. The difficulty, that's pretty much all the lesson that can be written out. Most of the rest of Mann's Fate is just improvised, and so you got to get the hang of just maybe making stuff up. Wait a minute. The speed's going this fast. Let's change chords. Go to an A. Back to E. B. Anyway, you get the idea. That's what you have to do in Mann's Fate, is just improvise. So that's a really complicated lesson. Anyway, that's not what I came here to talk about. It was to talk about. First, let's go into some of the other new packs that we put together, because this was brought to my attention by some TG members that said, there are a lot of cool tunes out there that are not available in a pack, and I don't just want to buy one lesson at a time. So found this. Oh boy, and these were rusty. was that? And I realized we got a whole bunch of cool theme songs. So now there's the Name That Theme pack, which I think has 7 tunes in it, all somehow related to movies, TV, or even plays. Oh, that's a movie. The other one is... I'm sure a lot of people didn't know that Send in the Clowns is from a musical from the late 60s, I think. A Little Night Music, Stephen Sondheim. Anyway, let's see, that was one. And then I found a bunch of Doug Young's Beatles tunes in Dadgad, except for I Will, which is in Good Dad. Lowered C and a G to go along with it. And his fabulous arrangement of Still Crazy. People ask me about doing a lesson on Still Crazy after all these years. And working on it for just about 10 minutes, I thought, this is going to take more than 15 minutes. I can't do it right now. I'll get to it someday. Very complicated progression and complex tune of Paul Simon's. But Doug did a great job of putting together a Dadgad arrangement. So that is some of the new stuff. Oh, and then of course we had a new lesson on Lionel Richie, Say You, Say Me. So that's out now. Let's see, what else do I have to talk about coming up here? I think, am I ready to get to the, okay, I have a question. I want to answer a couple questions. Oh man, I'm ready to get to the meat of this. Okay, that's it for the preliminary stuff. Great question from Peter, I think, about, I've spent all these years studying theory and trying to, assemble it into something useful. There does become a problem with what is useful. There's so much out there. I mean, it's this musical universe, and finding the parts of it that are practical can be really difficult. And so one of the things you could do, first of all, there's one pack, one set of lessons I have called Lead Secrets, Triads, that talks about putting together a second guitar part by using half guitar, 3-string versions of chords out of the E family, the A family, and the D family. Let's go to minor. Very weird. And playing along with a real simple progression like a Brown Eyed Girl. We've got G. Well, if one guitar is doing that, the other could do... And so understanding or being able to play through chords as a second guitar part by using just the triads, 3-string versions on the top 3 strings, is a great way to start working on your fretboard, understanding the geography, I guess, of the fingerboard. Another thing is to think about if you're playing a second guitar, trying to add a second guitar part to a song, learn it in a different key and then capo it so that while somebody's playing a song here in the key of G, I do have a capo handy. Let's say we're doing Brown Eyed Girl again. Well, a second guitar could, let's see, put a capo at the 5th fret and play it in thinking in the key of D. So transposing songs, learning to think about a chord progression by numbers and then playing it in different keys, and in particular the 5 friendly guitar keys. So I'm going to think about this a little bit more, and I'll go back and read your post again to see if there's other specific things I can think about. But a quick way to jump into this is work on understanding the chord progression to a song by numbers, including numbers of chords that are outside the key. And then playing it in different keys, transposing it, and being able to play, like what I just did there, Brown Eyed Girl in G down here, but capoed at the 5th, playing it thinking in D, but putting it in the 5th at the 5th fret makes it G, same key. And then working on your 3 families, E, A, and D, being able to play them as major chords, minor chords, and maybe even 7th, major 7th, and minor 7 chords. Okay. Enough of that. Let's get to the percussive tip. This is what I wanted to get to today. And that is something that happens in a lot of the songs that I put up lately, like, what am I thinking of? I Need You. Sorry, there we go. What we're doing is learning to get percussive on beats 2 and 4. So, and half, there are two main ways of, there are a lot of different ways of doing this, but the two I'm going to talk about right now are the thumb slap. And the thumb slap consists of hitting the 6th string with the side of your thumb and knocking that string into the frets. Now, I would use that, play an A minor 7 chord. And what I'm doing right there is grabbing the chord on the first beat, playing the 4 middle strings with my thumb and 3 fingers. And on the second beat, putting my fingers all back on the strings, ready to grab them again, but making sure that my thumb is landing on the 5th string, ready to grab it again, but that I knock the 6th string into the fingerboard for that snare sound on beat 2. And then on the second part of that, separating the chord, playing the chord, grabbing the 3 fingers on the and of 2, and then the bass note on 3, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and coming back in on beat 4 with that. Now, if we apply that to a chord progression, 1, 2, and 3, 4, with a little modification, not doing a slap on 4, but playing a bass note on 4, and if I use the A minor 7, if I switch it to my 2nd and 3rd fingers, and after the 2nd slap, move it up to B minor 7, but I only bar to the 5th string, and I really am only barring the 5th and 3rd strings. I'm making a kind of a hinge bar because I'm not playing the 1st string, and then coming in and hitting the bass and the click on 4. And you've probably figured out that this is also just about what I teach in Moondance. What I do in Moondance, it's a little different, is instead of a slap on 4, the open E on 4. So that is a really good way to get started in your percussive playing. The other one is to work on this. Now, for years, 45 or so, 50 years maybe, I have taught people to play Blackbird as an alternating bass finger picking song, but that's because I teach this to beginners. Where every beat 2 and 4 of the picking pattern is just the open 3rd string. Well, top secret, here's what Paul really did. On beat 2, he didn't come in here and hit this bass note. He just used a finger to do a tiny little tap on the strings, like with the nails. He did this with his, I think, with his index finger. He did everything with his index finger. But I recommend doing these pinches with your 2nd finger, then a tiny little tap on the strings, like flicking water with your 2nd and 3rd fingers, and just bouncing them off. You're aiming for the 3rd and 4th strings, the middle strings. 1 and, or let's count that as 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So each time you're doing that pinch and then tapping, sprinkling the strings. When it comes to, when you have a chord for a whole measure, 4 beats, the up is done with the index finger. So it's pinch, let's call it a snap. Nah, I don't know. But anyway, brushing the strings with the back of your 3rd and 2nd fingernails. And then after the 2nd bass note, a tiny little brush up across the same 2 strings, and a brush down. And you're really, I guess in that case, you're really aiming for the 2nd and 3rd strings, because the 4th string, you really want to be dead, and it's killed by your 1st finger touching it. So that's the technique that you want to work on in Blackbird. This is not my beginning version of Blackbird. This is more the advanced intermediate version. to get things sounding more percussive. And I'm even throwing in some measures there where I'm doing pinch, down, up, pinch, bass, up, down. Anyway, okay. One more Jorma tune. Let's go out with, I think that. A lesson I have to get to someday too. Okay, that is it. See you next week.